Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the world changed forever. The coffee was still hot in his hands when his computer started beeping with urgent messages. As the head of Earth Defense Force Communications, Jake had seen many alerts before, but nothing like this. The signal came from deep space. It was not human. The message was simple and clear in perfect English. Someone had been watching Earth for a long time. People of Earth, the message began. We are the Galactic Harvest Coalition. We have watched your species develop. You are now ready to join the greater galaxy. You have 7 of your days to prepare. Put down his coffee cup. His hands were shaking. He read the message again, hoping he had made a mistake. He had not. The message continued. 60% of your population will work in our mining colonies. 30% will grow food on agricultural worlds. 10% will serve as helpers. In our homes, this is not a choice. This is how things work in the galaxy. Primitive species serve advanced ones. Within an hour, every government on Earth knew about the message. Admiral Lisa Carter was the first to arrive at the emergency meeting. In Geneva, she had commanded Earth's small space fleet for 10 years. Her ships were designed to explore, not to fight wars against alien empires. How many ships do they have? Asked President Andrew Davis. He looked tired already, and the day had just begun. Lisa checked her reports. Our deep space sensors picked up at least 50 large vessels entering the solar system. Each one is bigger than anything we have ever built. Dr. Ryan Phillips raised his hand. He was Earth's best expert on space communication. Now I have been studying their transmission frequency. They're sending data about other species they have conquered. The list is very long. Ryan pulled up a holographic display. Hundreds of alien species filled the screen. Each one had a date next to it. The dates showed when they had been conquered by the Coalition. Look at this, Ryan said, pointing to the screen. Species 127 was conquered 800 years ago. They are still working in Coalition mines. Species 203 was taken 400 years ago. They are still growing food for Coalition worlds. No one has ever been freed. The room went quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. The Coalition was not planning to help humanity grow. They wanted slaves forever. Admiral Carter stood up. We have about 50 working warships. They have at least 50 ships that are each 10 times bigger than ours. The math is not good. President Davis looked around the room. What are our options? Surrender or fight? Lisa said simply. Those are the only choices. Can we negotiate? Asked Davis. Dr. Phillips shook his head. I have reviewed their communications with other species. They do not negotiate. They take what they want. Outside the meeting room, Captain Helen Brooks was preparing her ship for what might be the last human mission to deep space. Her exploration vessel New Horizon had been studying the outer planets when the aliens arrived. Now she was bringing her crew home to help defend Earth. Helen had spent years in space. Now she knew how big and dangerous the galaxy could be. But she also knew something about humans that the aliens might not understand. Humans did not give up easily. The first alien ship appeared over New York 3 days later. It was massive, black, and shaped like a knife. More ships appeared over London, Tokyo, Moscow, and every other major city on Earth. Each ship was perfectly positioned to destroy the city below it. The lead alien commander sent another message. His name was High Harvester Zexel. His voice sounded like metal scraping against stone. We will demonstrate our power, he said. Watch and understand. The alien fleet fired a single beam of energy at Pluto. The small planet exploded in seconds. Pieces of rock and ice scattered across the solar system. The message was clear. Earth could be destroyed just as easily. You have 4 days remaining, Zexel announced. Prepare your population for transport. Resistance will result in the destruction of your world. That night, Admiral Carter could not sleep. She walked through the command center, watching her officers work frantically to prepare Earth's defenses. Everyone knew the truth, but no one wanted to say it. They were going to lose. But then she remembered something her grandfather had told her long ago. He had been a soldier in World War III, Lisa, he had said. Humans have one advantage over every other creature on Earth. When things get really bad, we do not just survive. We get angry. Carter looked at the reports coming in from around the world. Every nation was mobilizing their military forces. Factory workers were building weapons instead of cars. Scientists were working day and night to improve Earth's technology. Even children were helping by growing food and making supplies. The aliens had made one very big mistake. They had given humanity time to think. Dr. Phillips made an important discovery on the fourth day. He'd been studying the alien ships with Earth's most powerful telescopes. The ships were indeed advanced, but they had weaknesses. Their armor is strongest on the front and sides, he reported to Admiral Carter, but the back sections are much weaker. They are designed to fight enemies who attack from the front. What does that mean? Carter asked. It means they have never fought an enemy who uses different tactics, Phillips explained. Every species they conquered probably tried to fight them the same way. Ship against ship, weapon against weapon. Carter smiled for the first time in days. But humans do not always fight fair. Captain Brooks arrived at Earth orbit just as the alien deadline expired. Her ship was small and fast, designed for exploration rather than war. But she had seen something during her journey that gave her hope. The alien ships were powerful, but they moved slowly. They seemed to expect their enemies to come straight at them. Their weapons were designed for long-range fighting against large targets. Brooks sent a message to Admiral Carter. Aliens fight like they expect honor and rules. But this is not a game. This is survival. High Harvester Zexel sent his final message to Earth. Your time is finished. Prepare for harvest. Any ship that tries to fight us will be destroyed. Any city that resists will be eliminated. This is your last warning. Admiral. Carter broadcast her response on every frequency that could reach space. Her voice was calm and clear. This is Admiral Lisa Carter of the Earth's Defense Force. You came to our world uninvited. You threatened our families. You tried to make us slaves. You have made one very serious mistake. You have underestimated what humans will do when you threaten. Everything we love. She paused, looking at the tactical display showing alien ships surrounding Earth. You want a harvest? Come and take it. The war for humanity's freedom was about to begin. The first human ship to attack was the smallest one in Earth's fleet. Captain Helen Brooks flew her exploration vessel, New Horizons, straight at the massive alien ship hanging over New York. Every military expert said she was committing suicide. They were wrong. Brooks had studied the alien ships for 3 days. She noticed something important. The aliens expected big battles, with lots of ships shooting at each other from far away. They did not expect a small, fast ship to fly right up. To them, her ship was too small for the alien weapons to target properly. The massive energy beams passed right over her. Brooks flew underneath the alien ship and fired her mining lasers at the weak spots Dr. Phillips had found. The alien ship did not explode, but something better happened. Shields went down. Admiral Carter watched from Earth's command center as Brooks proved something very important. The aliens could be hurt. Their ships were not invincible. All ships, Carter ordered over the radio. Follow Brooks' example. Get in close. Use their size against them. Colonel Danny Wright was already moving. He commanded Earth's best soldiers, the ones who fought in the most dangerous places. Wright had an idea that seemed crazy, even for him. Admiral Wright said over the communication system, "My teams need to get inside those alien ships." "Inside?" Carter replied. "How?" "The same way we get inside anything," Wright said. "We break in." Wright's plan was simple. Alien ships had hangar bays for their smaller craft. If human soldiers could get inside those hangars, they could take control of the ships from within. It was dangerous. It was almost impossible. It was exactly the kind of plan that humans were good at. Lieutenant Commander Kate Sullivan led the first boarding team. She and 12 other soldiers squeezed into a captured alien shuttle. The shuttle was not designed for humans. It was too small, and the air tasted wrong. But it would get them inside the enemy ship. Sullivan's team had studied everything they could about alien biology. The coalition species came from worlds with light gravity and clean air. Earth's gravity was 3 times stronger than their home. Planets. Earth's air had chemicals that would poison most aliens. What made humans weak on other worlds would make them strong on alien ships. Sullivan's shuttle docked with the alien ship over London. The hangar bay was huge, designed for the tall, thin aliens who built it. Sullivan and her team moved carefully through the corridors. The first alien they met was 8 feet tall, but very thin. It carried an energy weapon that could probably cut through a tank. But the alien moved slowly in Earth's gravity, and its breathing was heavy and labored. Sullivan tackled the alien soldier before it could use its weapon. The alien fell down and could not get back up. Earth's gravity was crushing it. This is easier than we thought, Sullivan told her team over their radios. Within 2 hours, Sullivan's team had captured the alien ship's bridge. The alien crew surrendered. Without fighting, they could not move fast enough to resist the human soldiers. Sullivan sent a message back to Admiral Carter. Ship captured. Uploading alien computer files now. Dr. Phillips was amazed when he saw the alien data. The files contained the locations of every coalition ship in the solar system. They also had the codes to communicate with other alien vessels. This changes everything, Phillips told Carter. Okay, we can use their own systems against them. Captain Bobby Lee was commanding a group of mining ships near the asteroid belt when he received new orders from Admiral Carter. Bobby had spent most of his life working in space, pulling valuable metals from dangerous asteroids. His ships were tough, and his crews were experienced. Bobby Carter said over the radio, "We need you to capture an alien supply ship. Phillips thinks they have something important on board." Bobby smiled. Capturing ships was not much different from capturing asteroids. Just took patience and good timing. Bobby's mining ship Iron Eagle was designed to grab onto large rocks and pull them apart. The alien supply ship was bigger than most asteroids. But the principle was the same. The alien ship tried to run when it saw the human miners approaching. But mining ships were built to chase things that did not want to be caught. Bobby's crew used their magnetic grapples to grab the alien vessel. "Got it," Bobby reported, coming aboard now. What Bobby found inside the alien ship amazed him. Cargo hold was full of energy cores made from Element Zero, the rarest material in the galaxy. Bobby had been mining Element Zero from asteroids for 20 years. It was dangerous work that killed many miners. To humans, Element Zero was just another job. To the aliens, it was the most precious thing in the universe. Admiral Bobby said, over the radio, "These aliens have been using the same stuff we mine every day to power their biggest weapons. We have warehouses full of this material back on Earth." Dr. Amy Foster was working in her laboratory when Bobby's discovery reached her. Amy studied alien biology, trying to understand how different species evolved. What she learned about the coalition changed everything. Amy compared the biological data from captured aliens with Earth's historical records. The coalition species all came from worlds that were safe and easy to live on. Perfect weather, plenty of food, no dangerous animals, or natural disasters. They have never faced extinction, Amy reported to the Emergency Council. Every species in the coalition evolved on paradise worlds. They have never had to fight for survival. President Davis looked confused. "What does that mean for us?" "Means we are different," Amy explained. Humans evolved on a death world. Ice ages, volcanoes, earthquakes, asteroid impacts, deadly animals. We survived because we learned to adapt to anything. Amy pulled up a comparison chart. The average coalition species has faced maybe 3 major challenges in their entire evolutionary history. Humans have faced over 20 extinction-level events. We are still here because we refuse to give up. High Harvester Zexthal was becoming worried. 3 of his ships had been captured by the primitive humans. His crews were reporting that human soldiers were somehow able to fight in conditions that disabled coalition forces. Zexthal decided to show the humans what real power looked like. He ordered his fleet to begin bombing Earth's cities. The first target was Sydney, Australia. The alien beam weapons turned the city into a crater in seconds. 5 million humans died in the first attack. Admiral Carter watched the destruction. From her command center, her hands were shaking with anger. "Sir," one of her officers said quietly, They are targeting civilian populations. Carter nodded. She had expected this. The aliens were trying to break human will by killing innocent people. They had made another serious mistake. Carter opened a channel to every human ship and base in the solar system. Her voice was cold and clear. They want to kill our families. They want to destroy our homes. They think this will make us afraid. She paused, looking at the tactical display. They are wrong. This makes us angry. Around the solar system, human crews received their new orders. The rules had changed. This was no longer a battle for independence. This was a war for survival, and humans were very good at survival. The destruction of Sydney changed everything. Admiral Carter had seen many battles, but she had never seen an entire city destroyed in seconds. 5 million people were gone. The alien weapon had turned a major city into a smoking crater, but something unexpected happened. Instead of making humans surrender, the attack made them angrier than ever before. Commander Tony Mitchell was leading a squadron of modified mining ships when the news reached him. His sister had lived in Sydney. She was gone now, along with her 2 children. Tony looked at his ship's nuclear reactor and had an idea that would have terrified any sane person. If the aliens wanted to destroy human cities, humans could destroy alien ships. All ships, Tony broadcast to his squadron. We are going to try something new. Tony's plan was simple and deadly. His mining ship carried a nuclear reactor for power. If he could overload the reactor and ram his ship into an alien vessel, the explosion would destroy both ships. It was suicide. Tony did not care. His ship Thunderstrike accelerated toward the largest alien vessel in the area. The alien ship fired its main weapons at him. Tony's ship was too fast and too small to hit easily. At the last second, Tony ejected his crew in escape pods. Then he crashed Thunderstrike directly into the alien ship's bridge. The nuclear explosion lit up space like a new sun. When the light faded, both ships were gone. Tony's sacrifice inspired other human crews. Captain Bobby Lee modified his mining ship to carry extra nuclear warheads. Lieutenant Commander Kate Sullivan trained her soldiers to fight in damaged alien ships even when the life support systems were failing. Admiral Carter realized something important. The aliens expected wars to follow rules, expected their enemies to value their own lives more than victory. Humans were different. Open a channel to all human forces, Carter ordered. Her message was broadcast to every human ship, base, and hidden outposts in the solar system. The aliens think we will surrender if they kill enough of us. They are wrong. Every human they kill makes the rest of us more determined to fight. We are not just defending our world anymore. We're avenging our dead. Dr. Ryan Phillips was working in a captured alien research station when he made the most important discovery of the war. The station contained files about the Coalition's expansion across the galaxy. What Phillips found changed everything humans thought they knew about their enemies. Admiral Phillips said over the secure communication line, "The Coalition is not expanding because they want to rule the galaxy. They are running away from something." Phillips sent his data to Admiral Carter. The files showed that the Coalition's home regions were being consumed by something called the Devourers. They were ancient machines that ate entire star systems. The Coalition species are refugees, Phillips explained. They have been moving toward the edge of the galaxy for thousands of years. They take slaves because they are too weak to fight the real threat. This news reached President Davis in his underground bunker. The Coalition was not an all-powerful empire. They were frightened survivors who had turned into bullies because they could not face their real enemies. Captain Helen Brooks was commanding a captured alien battleship when she received orders to contact other enslaved species in the galaxy. If humans could survive conditions that killed Coalition forces, maybe other slave species could fight back too. Brooks sent messages to 12 different star systems where the Coalition kept slave populations. The response surprised everyone. Species called the Krathen had been waiting for someone to start a rebellion for 300 years. Another species, the Vex, had secretly been building weapons in their mining colonies. A third group, the Eldani, had been training guerrilla fighters. For generations, They have all been waiting for someone to prove the coalition could be beaten, Brooks reported to Admiral Carter. Our victories are inspiring uprisings across multiple systems. The coalition was suddenly fighting a war on dozens of fronts. High Harvester Zexthal called for reinforcements from every remaining. Coalition Fleet. Engineer Rachel Kim was working in the ruins of a coalition research facility on Earth's moon when she found the most shocking information yet. The coalition's own files revealed their biggest fear. The Devourers were not just consuming coalition territory, they were learning and adapting. Every species they absorbed made them stronger and smarter. Admiral Rachel said over the emergency channel, "The coalition is not just afraid of losing their territory. They are afraid of extinction. The Devourers have already consumed over half the galaxy." This changed how Admiral Carter thought about the war. The coalition was not evil. They were desperate. But that did not excuse what they had done to Earth. The turning point came during the Battle of Europa Station. Coalition Fleet Commander Vexstar had surrounded the human base with 60 ships. He demanded immediate surrender. Admiral Carter was commanding the defense from the station's control room. She had 30 ships against 60, and half of her vessels were damaged from previous battles. Vexstar sent a message to the station. "You have fought bravely, but you cannot win. Surrender now, and we will treat your people fairly." Carter's response was broadcast across every coalition frequency in the solar system. "Commander Vexstar, this is Admiral Lisa Carter of Earth Defense Force. You came to our world uninvited. You tried to enslave our people. You destroyed our cities. Now you want us to trust your promises." Carter paused, looking at the tactical display. Her ships were outnumbered, but they had advantages the aliens did not understand. "Let me explain something about humans," Carter continued. "We evolved on a world that tried to kill us every day. We survived ice ages, supervolcanoes, and asteroid impacts. We learned that when something threatens our survival, we do not just fight back. We eliminate the threat completely." The battle that followed became legendary. Human ships used tactics that the coalition had never seen before. Instead of fighting ship-to-ship battles, humans coordinated their attacks to turn the coalition's own weapons against each other. Captain Brooks commanded a captured coalition cruiser. She used the alien ship's identification codes to get close to other coalition vessels, then broadcast override signals that caused their weapons to malfunction. Commander Mitchell, who had survived his kamikaze attack, led a squadron of human fighters inside the coalition formation. The fighters were too small for the big alien weapons to target, but they could disable the coalition ship's sensors and communication systems. Within 6 hours, the coalition fleet was defeated.
Ow.
Commander Vexstar's flagship was captured, and most of his surviving ships surrendered rather than face more human attacks. After the battle, Carter sent a message to every coalition force in the galaxy. "This is Admiral Carter. We have defeated your largest fleet. Your ships are not invincible. Your tactics are predictable. Your empire is built on fear, not strength." She paused, knowing that coalition leaders across the galaxy were listening. "Have a choice. Leave our space and free all your slaves, or we will come to your worlds and free them ourselves. We are humans. We do not negotiate with slavers." The message that came back from the coalition high command surprised everyone. They wanted to talk. High Harvester Zexel sat alone in his command chamber aboard the coalition flagship Subjugator. For the first time in his long life, he was afraid. The humans had done something impossible. They had defeated the coalition's greatest fleet. 6 months ago, humans were just another primitive species waiting to be harvested. Now, they were leading a rebellion that was tearing the coalition apart. 12 star systems had declared independence. Slave species that had worked in coalition lines for centuries were fighting back. Zexthal opened a communication channel to Earth. It took him 3 attempts to speak. "Admiral Carter," he said. "Says Admiral Carter," he said. "I'm High Harvester Zexthal, Supreme Commander of the Galactic Harvest Coalition. I wish to discuss terms for peace." Admiral Carter was standing in the command center of Europa Station. Around her, human officers and liberated alien crews worked together to coordinate the rebellion. She had been expecting this call. Speak, Carter said simply. We are willing to end the harvest of your world, Zexel said. Your species will be granted independence. We ask only for a promise that you will not attack Coalition territory. Carter looked at the strategic display. The Coalition still controlled hundreds of star systems. Millions of enslaved beings were still working in their mines and farms. No, Carter said. Admiral, please be reasonable, Zexel pleaded. Have superior numbers. Our technology is advanced. If we fight to the end, both our species will suffer terrible losses. Carter's response was heard across the galaxy. Every Coalition ship, every slave world, every free species received her transmission. You came to our world. You pointed weapons at our cities. You killed our people. You tried to enslave our children. Now you want mercy because you are losing. Paused, looking at the reports coming in from the liberated worlds. Species that had been slaves for centuries were tasting freedom for the first time. This is not about territory or resources, Carter continued. This is about justice. Every species you have enslaved will be freed. Every world you have conquered will choose its own future. The age of the Coalition is over. President Andrew Davis was watching the conversation from his bunker on Earth. 3 billion humans had died in the Coalition attacks. But the survivors were building something new. Earth was becoming the center of a galactic alliance based on freedom. Instead of slavery, Captain Helen Brooks was leading the human fleet toward the Coalition's home system. She commanded 50 ships now, including captured Coalition vessels, crewed by liberated slaves. Her mission was simple: end the Coalition forever. The Coalition's home system was not what Brooks expected to find. The planets were old and dying. Most of the population lived in orbital stations around a fading star. The great empire that had terrorized the galaxy was actually just a few million survivors desperately trying to stay alive. Hey, this is Captain Brooks to Coalition home fleet, she broadcast. I am ordering you to stand down and prepare for inspection. The response came from Fleet Admiral Korthax, Zexthal, S., second in command. Human vessel, you are trespassing in Coalition space. Withdraw immediately or face destruction. Brooks looked at her tactical display. The Coalition home fleet had 30 ships, but they were old and poorly maintained. Her Liberation fleet outnumbered them and had better weapons. Admiral Korthax, Brooks replied. I have 50 ships and crews who have been fighting for their freedom for months. You have 30 ships with crews who are tired of fighting for an empire that treats them like slaves. Do you really want this battle? What happened next surprised everyone. 6 Coalition ships immediately surrendered. Their crews had been listening to human broadcasts about freedom and equality. They were tired of serving leaders who saw them as expendable. The remaining Coalition ships tried to fight, but their hearts were not in it. Within 2 hours, the Coalition home fleet was defeated. Admiral Carter arrived at the Coalition home system 3 days later. She brought with her representatives from every species that had been freed from Coalition slavery. It was time for the final meeting. High Harvester Zexel was brought to the meeting under guard. He looked old and broken. The great empire he had commanded was gone. You have one, Zexel said to Carter. What do you want from us? Carter gestured to the representatives around the table. There were Krathan miners, Vex farmers, Eldani engineers, and dozens of other species. We want you to understand something, Carter said. The galaxy is big enough for everyone, but there is no place in it for slavers and bullies. Dr. Amy Foster stepped forward. She had been studying Coalition biology and culture for months. Your species evolved on easy worlds, Amy said to Zextal. You never learned to survive real hardship. When the Devourers started consuming your territory, you ran away instead of fighting. And then you found weaker species and made them your slaves. Amy pulled up a display showing the galaxy. Half of it was dark, consumed by the ancient machines, called Devourers. The Devourers are still out there, Amy continued. They are still growing stronger. But instead of preparing to fight them, you spent your time enslaving innocent species. Captain Jenny Price, who had been appointed as Earth's first ambassador to the liberated worlds, spoke next. The galaxy needs protectors, not predators, Jenny said. Species that are strong enough to face real threats, not ones that prey on the weak. Zextal looked around the table at all the species his people had enslaved. They were no longer afraid. Of him? What will happen to the Coalition? He asked. Admiral Carter stood up. The Coalition as an empire is finished. But your people do not have to die. You can join the new galactic community as equals, not as rulers. She gestured to the tactical display showing the liberated worlds. Every species will govern itself. Every world will choose its own path. Strong species will protect weak ones, not exploit them. This is the new way. Captain Bobby Lee, now commanding a fleet of mining ships, had been exploring the outer galaxy during the final battle. His report changed how everyone thought about the future. Admiral Bobby said over the communication system, I found something important. The Devourers have stopped expanding. They seem to be waiting for something. Dr. Phillips, who was analyzing the data, had a theory. The Devourers may be studying us. They consumed species that were advanced but soft. Now they are seeing something different. They are seeing species that fight back. This news reached every leader in the galaxy. The real test was still coming. But now the galaxy had something it had never had before. United species that were willing to fight for their freedom. Admiral Carter's final broadcast went out to every world, every ship, every station in the galaxy. The Coalition learned too late that there is no mercy in nature, only adaptation. They tried to survive by making others weak. We will survive by making everyone strong. She paused, looking at the stars beyond the station's windows. To any species, that might threaten the freedom of others. Remember this. The galaxy is now protected by Deathworlders. We have learned to survive anything, and we will defend anyone who cannot defend themselves. In the depths of space, ancient automated systems detected the human broadcasts. The Devourers had been waiting for worthy opponents. The galaxy's new guardians would provide a proper challenge. The age of the Coalition was over. The age of the Deathworlders had begun.